A is the shape of a quarter circle of radius 15 centimetres. B is in the shape of a circle. The area of A is 9 times the area of B. Show that the radius of B is 2.5 centimetres. So the radius of a circle is the distance from the centre of the circle to any point on the edge of the circle. And we can represent this with the letter R. The next thing we'll need to know for this question is how to work out the area of a circle. So the area of a circle is equal to pi multiplied by the radius squared. And this is the formula we would use to work out the area of a full circle. So therefore it's the formula we can use to work out the area of shape B. Now the area of shape A, in order to work out the area of the full circle we would use pi r squared. However, we are told that shape A is a quarter circle and therefore it will have a quarter of the area of what it would if it was a full circle. So therefore the area of shape A can be worked out by pi multiplied by r squared divided by 4. We are also told that the area of A is 9 times the area of B. So therefore, the area of shape A is equal to 9 multiplied by the area of shape B. And now what we can do, using the values that we've been given in the question and the formulae which we have just written down, is we can use this to work out the radius of B. So if we start with the area of shape A, we've already written that the area of shape A will be equal to pi r squared divided by 4. And we've been told that the radius is 15 centimetres. So therefore the area of A will be equal to pi multiplied by 15 squared divided by 4. Now if we first work out the numerator of this fraction, 15 squared is 225, so therefore 15 squared multiplied by pi is 225 multiplied by pi, and this is all divided by 4. And finally 225 divided by 4 is 56.25. So if it makes it easier, we can write this as a decimal rather than a fraction. So this gives us 56.25 multiplied by pi. Now next, we wrote down that the area of A is equal to 9 times the area of B. Now because we don't have the radius for B, we can leave the area in terms of R. So if area A is equal to 9 times the area of B, and we've worked out the area of A as 56.25 multiplied by pi, then this means that 56.25 pi is equal to 9 multiplied by pi r squared. Now the first thing that we can see when looking at this equation is we have a pi term on both sides. So with this equation, in order to show that the radius of B is 2.5 centimetres, we're going to want to rearrange this equation to make R the subject. Now when looking at this equation, we can notice that there is a pi on both sides of this equation. So the first thing we can do in order to rearrange this equation is divide both sides of this equation by pi. So 56.25 pi divided by pi will give us 56.25. And then 9 multiplied by pi multiplied by r squared divided by pi will leave us with 9 multiplied by r squared. The next thing we can do is divide both sides of this equation by 9. And this will leave us with the numerical terms on one side of the equation and the r squared on the other side of the equation. So 56.25 divided by 9 gives us 6.25. And then 9r squared divided by 9 will just give us r squared. Now the final thing we need to do to work out the value of r is get rid of this square term here. And to do this, we're going to need to use the square root button on our calculator. And we're going to want to square root both sides of this equation. So the square root of 6.25 gives us plus or minus 2.5. And then the square root of r squared will give us r. Now an important thing to remember is that because r is a measurement of the size of the radius, it must be positive. So therefore, r is equal to 2.5 centimetres. And this is how we would show that the radius of B is 2.5 centimetres. Now this question's worth 3 marks. We'll get our first mark for working out the area of A. We'll get our second mark for using this to work out the area of B. And our third mark for showing that the radius is 2.5.